Good evening, everybody. Trying to get situated here. What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing out there in BBP land? I'm waiting on my guests to join. Doing out there, BBP land. Waiting on my guests to join. Okay, I got sound. That's good. Please share the slide. Eventually, I'll have music so we can enjoy music together. Eventually, I'll have music and enjoy music together. I'm testing out the sound, so my phone is playing the sound back. I can hear it, you can hear it, we're all good. Yay! Like every week, I get nervous that my sound isn't going to be on point. My son got me set up, I think. I think I'm straight now. Okay. Just waiting on my guest, Dr. Stroman, to join. This should be an interesting live, full of information. Dr. Stroman, Dr. Stroman. All right, let me go and get my phone so that I can call my guests to make sure everything's okay. I'll be back. All right, all right, all right. I'm back. I'm back. Waiting for my guest. What might happen?
Hey, Corona?
Good evening.
I think I got it.
I can't hear you.
It's amazing what happened.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
my settings. I don't know if you can hear me.
Sounds like they're working. Have a great show.
I got a weird sound playing. Are you able to hear me, Dr. Stroman?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Awesome. I hear you now.
All
Hey.
right. All right. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. All right. I have some music playing. I'm gonna try to get this sound up. Ah, there we go. I was playing some background music while I was waiting, and then I couldn't find it to turn it back off.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic and amazing. Nice to meet you. See your smiling face here.
Yes, likewise. Likewise. It is a pleasure to have you here on the Blowing Bubbles podcast.
Oh, I love that title.
Welcome.
Uh,
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me when it resonates with people.
yeah, you're quite welcome.
Thank you. So, I've had a conversation with you, but for those who don't know you, give us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Stroman.
I'll be happy to do that. I I've been in the seminar business for a long time, and my background is health and wealth and and financial literacy. So many years ago, the vision came to me, and I looked at the world. I said, "Wow, these two of the most concerned things that people have is something to do with health and something to do with money." And so that's when the crusade was born. And I created a dream team around the country and around the world with other people who have special gifts. And we just empower and educate people. And so I've been doing that for probably about 26, 27 years. And on the
Mhm.
health side, my main focus is I call it the power of preventing bad health. And I always tell people that preventing bad health is better than cure, less expensive, and less painful. Okay. So that is
Oh,
a mindset. That's the mindset I try to impart to people because, I also created something, Ramon. Let me say this to you very quickly. We call it the success triangle.
okay, okay. Success triangle. So
Mhm.
tell me about that, please.
The success triangle is three things. At the tip of the triangle is mastering headquarters. That's the most important computer between your ears. That's your thought life because you and I both know nothing changes until your mind changes. You can change your house,
Ooh,
your car,
absolutely.
yeah. All of that can happen, but if you don't renew that mind and make it a daily exercise, nothing happens. That's why when we have these topics about health and any other topic, people don't move forward because they're not diligent about mastering their thought life. Every
Right.
challenge that I've ever had and people that I know around the country that I work with is because of out of control thought life, right? So once you get that together, I don't have to tell you to do this or do that once you get that in your spirit because you'll automatically do it because you know what? I've been thinking the wrong way for a long time, right? So
Right.
that's the top of the headquarters. The second part is mastering your $1 billion temple that we talked about earlier today. Well, that is a big topic because if you have an appreciation for your $1 billion temple, I don't have to tell you not to eat certain things. When you get that esteem, you'll automatically say, you know what? This is not good for my brain, my gut, my heart, my liver, my kidney. You will automatically, if you stick with the information, come to that conclusion yourself. And then the third part of the triangle is financial management. And when you
Mm,
look at these three things, my sister, they're connected. They are connected.
for sure.
Mind ain't right, it affects the body. Body ain't right, it affects the pocketbook. Let's go the other way. Financial stuff ain't right, that's stress, right? That affects your health. That ain't right, that's going to affect your brain. Okay. So either way you go, they're connected. Okay.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
So we try to teach people how to make the connection so they can be very conscious and then put together a master plan so they can live an abundant life. When you're blind to something, you don't know. It's like a three-legged stool. One missing, the stool falls over.
Mhm.
And again, when you look at everybody, this is you can't go a day with somebody talking about health and finance.
Right.
And we both know the mental health thing is off the charts right now.
It is. It
I
really
did.
is.
Matter of fact, I did something with a psychologist a couple of weeks ago. We dealt with mental health in our community. Okay,
Okay.
and we were very transparent because a lot of times we got these stigmas about mental health. Just like your body can get sick, your mind can have some challenges too.
Right.
And we make people feel shamed because they got something. No, nothing to be ashamed of. But
Right.
so people are in the closet because of pressure from society and culture, so they don't talk about it. And so they suffer in silence. And so this platform that I was on, it was like 7, 8 other men, and we were very honest with ourselves about the mental challenges that men are going through. Okay. And
That's very
it was very, very liberating. And we were very honest and transparent. But guess what? It was a breakthrough session because now people understand I can talk about this and I'm not going to judge you because that's the biggest concern.
yes.
Will you judge me if I tell you I'm having a challenge at work, having a challenge in my marital situation? Will I be judged? So we give people the freedom. There's no judgment here. Okay.
Mm.
We're here to help you to get over that situation. So I did two. We're gonna do one every month now.
That's awesome. Now, is it exclusively for men?
No, no, we had a lot of ladies on there. Okay,
Wow. Awesome.
and they were giving the inputs of being married to a man and all these different things because men are very interesting. We're very
For
interesting,
sure.
and the way I say that is because we have been conditioned not to express ourselves, and
Right.
we hold it in. I'm trying to break that. And so when I'm doing seminars, I'm very transparent so they can feel free. Oh man, he's coming forward and being honest like this. That's how people get liberated. Okay. And
Right.
so, because men are very insecure, just like some women can be insecure. We just got a better way of hiding it. Okay. We're good at
Right.
hiding it, right? So all that pressure from culture and your environment, you can't, man, just suck it up. You're a man. You can't cry. All these different things, and they don't understand that you will be free if you decide to be free. But
No
again,
doubt.
having an environment, you got to have that good environment to make that happen. So it is a phenomenal thing. It's called Miracle Mind movement that they asked me to be a part of, and we do it. I think I've done 2 sessions with her, and it was really, really good. And if I send you a copy, if any other man or woman, because the women came on, they were talking about their husbands and da 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 da, because they don't want to talk, right?
Right.
But we have to approach one another because we're different. God made us different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women are very detailed. We're headliners, right? So
Yeah.
it's the way we approach one another. It's all about the power of communication, you know. And so
Yeah.
this is what we do. And so we're helping a lot of men. And I'll be speaking to a men organization here when they set it up. They want me to come and talk to the men about this because again, I come up and I just tell them the real deal. Like you and I talked about earlier today. I give you a little snippet of this. We talked about that one of the seminars that I do about victory over long-term grief, right? So when I was giving my story about that, I was saying, yes, I cried when my wife transitioned, but that freed everybody. And they're like, oh, wow, you cry? Absolutely. I'm a human being. I lost somebody that I love dearly.
Right.
And it's liberating when you hear another man say it. Because a lot of times, no, man, I can't cry. I can't. I'm going
I'm
to suck
good.
it up.
I'm good. Yeah.
Exactly. Those little things that we say, and they keep us in bondage. I call
Yeah.
them strong. I call them strongholds that a lot of men, they just, and when they do it, that's the beautiful thing about it. They feel so much better.
Right.
I even,
There's
I even,
actually strength in vulnerability.
that's
Uh,
exactly right. That's
and,
exactly right.
and being open to express your true feelings is most definitely a freeness that there's nothing that can compare to it. Like,
That's 100% right. And that's you're 100% right. And see, here's the thing about what you just said, which is very powerful. We got to talk about the benefits of doing it, like you just said.
yeah,
The benefits, because people count the cost, but we don't focus on the benefit. The
right,
benefit, I have no hangups. I love everybody, have no hangups, no problem with nobody. Okay, because I have no hangups, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just liberating. But again, when you get, I know how men are. So when we get with men, I got to first tell them my struggles that I've had. Then
Right.
they feel comfortable, right? Somebody got to
Right.
come to the
Open up.
forefront and
Right.
say, yeah, because I'm waiting for you to say something first. That's how men are, right? But when I tell them, I tell you a quick little story. When my first wife, when she transitioned about 20 something years ago, I was a salesperson selling alarm systems, right?
Selling
And
what?
selling home alarm systems.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so I was on a commission basis. I did not have a job,
Ooh,
right? Now watch
okay.
this. Commission. I just got married. I'm a newlywed, right? Now, this is what happens. My wife had a job. Well, when she had breast cancer, when the boss found out she had breast cancer, guess what he did?
Fired her.
Yes. So that was all on me. Brand new, newlywed. I'm a commission salesperson. Oh my God. Well, the stress that I went through. Imagine me trying to sell to keep the lights on.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about my wife is fighting for her life at the house.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I tell men what I went through, okay, and how to come get over that, to have victory over that situation. I let them know, yeah, it was stressful, man. I mean, you're talking, my God. But again, when you open up like that, they open up. And so this is what we do.
Wonderful. I applaud you for that. That is so necessary.
Oh,
Not
yes, man.
enough. There's not enough programs out there for, especially men, to really commune with other men who have been there, done that.
That's right.
Um, there's a lot of men who are hurting silently.
That's right.
So
That's
I applaud you for that.
right.
You and everyone that you're working with. Thank
Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, we want it to be a big deal. So we want to have fellowships and have a lot of men come together and, hugging one another, loving one another as brothers and stuff like that. So I'm excited because I've already seen a glimpse of the responses and the positive feedback that we've gotten. And because again, I had one lady on one of my shows. Her husband was a police officer, and he was holding a lot of things in,
you.
and then it turned into a domestic situation. Okay,
Okay.
you see what I'm saying? It can be. It's very dangerous because men need an outlet.
Yeah, and
And
sometimes it manifests itself in the ugliest of ways.
exactly. And so we show them it's a healthy way to deal with that. Okay. But if they don't know that, they turn to other things that are very destructive because
Right.
they don't have the tools to handle something in a constructive and a positive way. And this is what we do. Say, hey, just like I did this thing with this victory over long-term grief not too long ago, I give them practical things that help me out through my journey. Practical things. Or
Yes.
just, for an example, not to go on a tangent on this, but just for an example, I made sure that I kept upbeat music around me. For an example,
Mhm.
because if I hear something
It's the little
sad,
things. It's
yeah, if you hear something sad during that time, oh my God, it can
yeah,
take you there, right?
and you could
So
even not see it happen. You can just be in that dark place and don't know how you even got there.
very subtle,
Yeah.
very, very subtle. So I've always been very sensitive about my environment. And so what I did, I made sure I put a lot of positive things around me as when I was going through the journey. I mean, I was saying, I was telling people, yeah, I took myself out. Now, some of the things that I shared, everybody's not ready for that corona because
Mhm.
everybody's different place. So I'm very careful. I try to bring a balance. I call myself the equalizer. I try to
Mhm.
bring a balance, right? So everybody can't do some of the things that I recommend because you're not there yet. Everybody's different.
Right. Right.
So I give you different things. And you say, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not ready for that. Oh, I can do that. But that's what I did, and I'm getting responses from all over the place because of that. People all over the country responding because they're getting free. So
Excellent.
whatever we can do, because I believe that our experiences can be a blessing to somebody else.
No doubt. And
Yeah,
and I believe that people who have overcome things have a responsibility to share that victory.
I agree 100%.
Because there's somebody
100%.
who does not believe they can make it out.
That's exactly
And
right.
your testimony can literally make the difference for somebody giving up or continuing to push.
100%. That's right.
Oh, I'm there. I'm there. Now, are you all working with the not just the affected individual, but those connected to them? Say you said the policeman. Uh, was there a program specifically for his spouse?
That is a good question. She reached out to me and shared it with me, and I don't know if they have a particular program for them. I don't know, but I do something that I think I briefly mentioned earlier when we had our first conversation. I call it the kitchen table movement,
Hmm.
getting everybody at the kitchen table and everybody talking, right? Because we don't do that enough, right, Corona?
We don't.
We don't, because see, technology is beautiful, but at the same time, we're losing that personal,
Connectivity.
yeah, eye
We're
to eye.
more connected but less engaged actually.
Exactly, exactly. So that's affecting our society because we don't talk like we're talking right now. Okay.
Right.
Because I can text you, but it's nothing like me having the conversation that you and I had today by connecting with you. Okay.
Hmm.
And so I remember when I was in the banking industry and I went back to my college to interview people, and I'm looking at the way it is now. A lot of people don't look at you eye to eye because they're not trained to do that. When you go to an
Right.
interview, you got to look eye to eye. You can't be texting your answers.
Right.
And so they're so used to that. And they're like, and so now they're very uncomfortable because they don't talk like we're doing right now. We don't have conversations. So that is a very important skill, especially to an interview. And
Yes.
so I remember one time in Thanksgiving, my niece had a girlfriend over. Now we're sitting at the same table. They texting one another and we're at the same table. So if I had kids, I would say, like, have a dinner with the family. I call it the no phone zone.
Yes.
Put the phone in a
Put
basket.
the phones down.
No phone
Oh,
zone. Let's talk.
right.
Okay, so we're missing that. And so that's why even I'm funny about that because sometimes even when I go, I know I go to the extreme sometimes, but I do this because I like to keep the human relation because I love people. So you
Hmm.
know how you go to the store sometime and you want to go through the line and you have the self checkout line, right? That's
Yes.
faster, right? What
Hmm.
I do if I'm not in a hurry, I go to the line with a human being.
I go out of my way to do that.
You must be you sure your last name not Stroman? You
Yeah.
must be my sister.
Well, see, I'm from. I grew up in Ohio, and there's been a culture of layoffs there for at least 40 years, to my knowledge. So I watch jobs just go away. So I go to the people. That's I just literally go out of the way to go to a human.
I'm just like that. And then and guess what I do? I make their day because I'll
Yeah.
say something nice. I say
I,
something nice to them. Hey, you're doing a great job today. They don't hear that.
hmm.
You call them by the name. You're doing a
Yes,
fantastic
they
job.
have a name tag on. Address them.
There's a
They're
reason
probably
for that.
yes. They've probably been getting just ignored all day.
I tell you what I did one day. I went to Walmart and I noticed kind of shocked. The lady had a big smile on her face. She was actually walking into Walmart because she worked there, right? She had a little shirt on that says Walmart.
Mhm.
And I said, "Thank you for your service." I knew that threw her off. I said, "Thank you for your service." But just the little thing, just showing appreciation for people. It doesn't cost a lot to do that.
God Harper said we are angels. I'm
There you go.
looking at the chat in the comments.
Okay, okay, I like that. I like that. But that's it because people are walking around and you can see the stress and the worry and all that stuff on their face.
Yeah,
Just be kind to people. The most powerful thing we have is love, but we just
that's
don't
it.
express it enough. And that's what the world needs. I don't want to get philosophical, but that's what the
It's
world
so
needs.
simple.
They
Love is
need it.
love.
So
I
every
do
chance
all
we
things
get,
in love,
we
or I
support.
don't do it. I have no problem sitting at home doing
Yeah,
nothing.
that we supposed to do that every day. And every day I'm thinking, who can I, say something kind to or text somebody? Because I post a lot of things on every day, probably about 4 times, encouraging things every day because it can lift. And I get responses from all over the country because it lifts somebody's spirit. You have no idea. There are situations and people were thinking about committing suicide.
Yes.
Somebody paid attention to them and said something kind to them and changed that person's mind.
Yes.
Do not take it for granted.
I've had it
Okay.
happen twice to me and don't even know what I said or did, but people have called me, two people have called me back and said one time it was I called them and it was just random. I'm like, you were on my heart, just called to check on you. What's going on? Hey, hey, hey. They made small talk, but then a couple days later, the one person called back and said, I was getting ready to take my own life.
Oh
And
my
the
God.
second time someone let me know, it was maybe a year later, I saw them and
Oh,
and it was a man and he was in tears. I
oh
don't
my
even know
goodness.
what I said, but just being me and being deliberately nice to people for no apparent reason. I'm not looking for anything, just being nice.
That's beautiful.
And so I'm real conscious of it now. I make eye contact with people, even people that I don't know. That's so rare now. People don't they
They think
don't do
they
that.
feel they feel invisible.
Yeah.
They can be around a lot of people, but they still feel invisible. And that's why I'm an extreme when it comes to that because even let's just say this, when I used to go to a school to mentor kids for about 10, 11 years.
Mhm.
And you're walking down the hall, getting ready to go to the wherever you're going to kind of present, and you see the janitor. I go out of my way to acknowledge that person because it's a human being that
Yes.
deserves attention and respect, whether you at the CEO or way up, you're a human being, okay? And they just light up because they don't expect nobody to say anything to them. I'm just a janitor. Those are opportunities that many people pass up because some people
All
look
the
down
time.
on people.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we have to be a change agent everywhere we go. We should not just make a living, make a difference everywhere we go.
Yeah. I was raised like that and in the comments Todd Harper said that's how we grew up, blessing others first with kindness and it gives us an
That's it.
opportunity to beat ignorance.
That's
And
beautiful.
Raynell Allen said, "Sometimes just being kind can save lives." Absolutely,
Huge.
absolutely, 100%. You never know what a person is going through,
That's right.
and your smile and eye contact can really impact somebody in a positive way. Um,
Very
I'm
powerful.
so thankful I was raised how I was raised and when I was raised because now, whew,
It's a different world out there now.
it really is. It really is. I was having a conversation yesterday with some people about the case in Chicago where the young man punched the woman in the restaurant. You know that case? And then her son shot him.
Oh wow. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Don't know how the argument started. There was a confrontation. They were waiting in line at a hot dog stand and someone in line behind them started recording when the confrontation escalated and the this young man, he was 35 years old. He is telling this woman, if you say one more word, I'm going to knock you out.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
he proceeds to punching her and he reared back and you could hear the blows to
Oh
this
my,
woman's face.
oh my goodness.
Her 14-year-old son got her gun out of the car and shot this man to death.
That's senseless. That is senseless. Yeah, that
Something was in what was in this young man's mind.
you know what? We had this discussion with another session that I did, and can I shift gears and kind of connect with what you're saying right now a little bit?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Let me just share this with you because you know my background is health and wellness. You know there's a disconnect when it comes to our behavior and what we put in our body and in our mind, right, my friend? You know
Mm,
that.
mhm.
Many people don't make the connection. And you know about the microbiome, the gut.
Right.
And you know we got two brains, one in the skull, one in the gut. More and more, the holistic doctors that I work with are telling me in the research that I've done a lot of the out of control behavior is because the physical side of their body actually affect their mood the way they act.
Hmm.
There's a connection there. Okay.
Yes.
And what happens was we changed, when I say we, they did an experiment and they took a lot of the bad food and the sugars, a lot of bad stuff from the juveniles, and the juvenile delinquency crime went down like 80 something percent.
Wow.
Then they said they did something else. They found out the suicide rate went down to zero
Ooh.
because we haven't made the connection between food and how we act. It's
Hmm.
a it's a powerful thing because see, you got a brain and you have a mind, and we don't walk around like you and I talked about today. We don't walk around and say, am I taking care of my brain today?
We
We don't
don't.
think like that. We're not conscious of that. Okay, but when you put a lot of things in your body that affects your brain, it affects your behavior. Let me give you an example. This is one of the doctors that I brought to Atlanta. We had about 300 people at this event. He's a very well-known doctor, and he tells a story about, they call it, now you might laugh at this. He hurt someone. He went to jail. Well, he was in court, and it was the Twinkie defense. Let me explain. When he eat Twinkies, he get violent. Okay, and guess what? They won the case. Now it's a weird case, but you think why you eat the Twinkies, knowing that it makes you act that way, right?
Right.
But that's an extreme. But again, there's a connection, and even with the kids, for an example, because I mentioned earlier going into the school system. I'm just going to tell you, a lot of the kids, and no condemnation, because I don't know who's listening. There's drugs have a place, but let me say this: based on the counselors that I talk to, many of the kids, ADD, ADHD, many of them do not need those drugs.
I agree
But
100%.
that's the system. That's the system. So let me give you an example. Young lady was a little, kids gonna be kids, they got energy and whatever the case may be. And so the teacher said, we need to put this young lady on Ritalin. See how they respond right away, right? And then, and the principal agreed. And then the parent, because she was exposed to holistic, she said, let me try something first before we do that. Do you know we changed the diet of that little girl within 2 weeks? Totally different kid.
Wow.
She was destined to be on Ritalin like millions of our kids. And I have an issue with that. That's why I did a recording with the parents about probably about 3 weeks ago about that, because they're not might not be aware of that. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a better way, and you and I talked about that earlier today. There's a better way, but it's just a system. And so I'm always talking about the system. So we're not talking about the doctor, but it's the system. And many of the holistic doctors that I work with, many of them were so disgusted from medical school because they wasn't taught, like this, about nutrition. They don't know a lot about nutrition.
Right.
They just know to put your name on a drug. Now, medication has its place. So if anybody's listening to this information, please follow your doctor's instructions. Okay, I'm not telling you to stop taking your medication. That would be irresponsible. But I'm letting you know, for 10 years of doing my conference, it's a podcast that I do every Tuesday. We've gotten so many people off medication.
Awesome.
They don't,
That's
no medication.
remarkable.
Yeah, no medication. I had one guy happen to be a bishop off 27 medications. Just a lack of knowledge. We don't know. Because
Wow.
America is number one in drugs. Everybody know we number one in drugs. We know
Absolutely.
that.
Big
And
Pharma is one of the strongest lobbying entities in the
that's right.
country.
Big pharma, food industry, sugar, beverage, they strong. I mean, that's
Hmm.
why I tell people when they say, well, Anthony, no, listen, I can't control the lobby, the Congress, and you follow the money, the deal, all of that stuff. It's powerful. And the incentive for bad health is trillions of dollars. It's an incentive.
It is.
And this is documented. Okay. So we have a disease management system. They don't get to the cure, they don't get to
Right.
the bottom, the source.
There's no
It's a disease
benefit to the system
management.
for curing
It's too much.
anything.
It's too much money to be made. Why we want you to eat some broccoli? It's too much money to be made.
Right.
Okay. So the
So
doctor,
I'm sorry. So can people access your teachings for these?
absolutely.
lifestyle changes,
Absolutely.
that is
I'll give out my conference line that I do every Tuesday. We have people all over the country, sometime around the world on that. I give that
perfect.
out.
Perfect.
Because we just have to
I
wake our people up because they're not, and again, no condemnation. It's just that I didn't know this stuff, you just didn't know. I
mhm.
can tell you a story happened to me. Can I tell you a personal story?
Sure.
Okay, check this out. So I go to the doctor, and this was years ago. And the doctor said, Mr. Stroman, you have a thyroid issue. Now, here's the benefit of a little knowledge, my dear sister, just a little knowledge. Because I've been in health and wellness for 27 years, right?
Mhm.
So the nurse comes in and she gives me this medication and said, you're going to be taking this. And I guess my facial expression said, no, I'm not. So she said, Mr. Stroman, are you okay? What's wrong? I was cool. I took the medication and I went on and did my natural stuff. 2 to 3 weeks later, went back to the doctor, 100% cleared up. I would
Wow.
have been another victim on medication for the rest of the life. I got a lot of stories like that from my client. That's just the way it is. So
Mhm.
again, because I had a little bit of knowledge, and I'm not telling nobody to do what I did. So please, your listening audience, please, I'm not saying to do what I did. Okay?
But if you follow what is available out there and just understand the pros, protocols and the processes, man, it can be done. I've known several people personally who have reversed diabetes, who have reversed heart disease. I mean, it is so doable. You got to be
Yep,
disciplined.
that's right. Well, you know what?
That's the number one thing.
That's the key. That's why everything starts. The beginning of our conversation, what did I say? You got to master headquarters.
Headquarters. That's
See,
right.
that's the key because everybody know, my sister, that we should eat fruits and veg. We've been hearing that all our lives. Why don't we do it? Because you haven't mastered headquarters. See, it's not what you say, it's what you do. I follow your behavior. You can tell
Right.
me anything. It's your execution. That's what
Yeah.
I look at. But here's what we need to help our people out with is I created what I call an accountability culture. I'm gonna give
Mm.
you a principle. People don't do what's expected, they do what's inspected. Did you catch that? They
If
don't
you
do
don't
what's
see it,
expected,
if you
they do
can't
what's
see it, they don't.
inspected. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You got to know yourself. You got to be honest. So
Yeah.
let's say, for example, you have a goal, lower your blood pressure. It could be anything. And you know you don't have the discipline. Guess what you need? An accountability partner.
Yes.
Okay. So at the end of the week, let's say you're supposed to walk around the block. Let's keep it very simple. Walk around the block twice. When I call you and I'm gonna say, hey, did you walk around the block, sir? Oh, Stroman, because they're gonna fall off the horse. There, people don't do it right away. It takes a minute, right? So you have to be
Right.
patient with it. Okay, next Friday, I'm calling you again. Guess what's gonna happen next Friday? They're gonna walk
Oh,
around the block because
because
they
you
know
call
Mr.
it.
Stroman is coming,
Yeah.
right? But that's why we need one another as an accountability culture that we need because we can't do everything by ourselves. We need one another. So when you know
Yeah.
you don't have that discipline, don't let your pride get in the way of your health. Okay. If
Absolutely.
you need assistance, let us know. Now, for me, I've been walking for 40 years, and people, it's so funny in my subdivision, they call me the man with the stick because I walk like 3 or 4 times a day, right? But I do
Okay.
short walks after I eat breakfast, I take a little short. These are short, but I do a long walk, right? And so
Mhm.
the neighbors now, guess what they're doing? Oh, Mr. Stroman, you inspired us, so now I got all these neighbors. I said nothing to them, and they walk because they see me
Just
walk
from
every day.
seeing you walk.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Because see, the thing is, people, especially children, grown ups the same way. We model what we see.
Yes.
So because they see me doing all the time, and I'm happy all the time, got a good attitude all the time. So what is this guy doing? I mean, I'm seeing him walking for 3 years, and then they started doing it, and they say I'm inspired. And I said, wonderful, outstanding. But that 40 years of me doing that is second nature. I don't have to think about
Hmm.
it's just automatic. But it takes time to get to that level. That's why you have to be very patient. You know this, my sister. Anytime you make a change, don't beat yourself up. Lift yourself up.
Mm.
Small steps.
Don't
Small.
beat yourself up. Lift yourself up. I had
e-
to read that. Love it.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
little steps, and then you encourage, and before you know it, Da 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 da. Because it's funny as an African American man, this is a compliment and an indictment at the same time. So when the doctor checked me out, and like, you don't take no medication, like she's shocked. I said, no. At your age, no. And then she said, this is unusual. Now, she was trying to compliment me, but it was an indictment for men
Yeah.
because she don't see black men in this example. Okay, I'm a black man, so she don't see that often in the doctor's office.
Right.
So she's like shocked, said, oh my God, all your numbers are good. Oh my God. She was like shocked. But here's what I want to say. I'm not special, but I specialize in taking care of my $1 billion temple. Did you catch that? I'm not special, but I specialize in taking care of my business. That's a choice that I made. Everybody
yeah.
can make that choice, man. Now, you and I know the challenge. Can we talk about the challenge?
Let's talk about the challenge.
That marketing arm is powerful, right?
It is.
Oh my God. Radio, TV, internet, tablet, constantly telling you it's okay to eat bad, drink bad, think bad. It's hard
Mm-hmm.
because you hear it all the time, right?
Right.
So if you're not I call it the law of recognition. You first have to recognize that, okay, if I keep, now guys, listen to what we're saying, moderation, we're not telling you not to eat any of that. So please don't, I'm not taking your fun away, right? We just say moderation, okay? So, but what happens when you understand what you're doing is cumulative, okay? It's going to show up sooner or later. You might not feel it right now. Because see, I use this, my sister. There's 4 gates that the marketing companies use. And they're good at what they do. Can we admit that? They're good at
They
what they
are
do.
great at it.
Check this out. The eye gate, don't they make that stuff look good?
Yes.
The air gate, oh my God, there's messages. Oh boy, you want to look like this here. Messages, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They hijack your taste buds, right?
Yep.
They get you, right? So when you know about these gates, how about that smell gate? Oh my God, that smells good. That's a
Yes.
powerful one right there. Oh my God, that smells good. So let's be honest, it is not easy.
It is not.
It is not easy. But when you know what's going on and you equip yourself, and I know you probably laugh at this, I would go into grocery stores. You know how you go to the with the cookies and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that aisle. I go down there on purpose. So I got dominion over that. It don't tempt me. It
Okay.
used to. I go down there and test it. Hey, you ain't got me. I'm in control. And then I was talking to one lady called me. She said, Anthony, I heard you talk about shop the perimeter. You never know what a person will grab. So she goes to the store and she said, Dr. Stroman, you're in the back of my mind. Shop the perimeter, where the fruits and vegetables stuff.
Right.
So she goes there now because she heard me make a statement about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you never know what somebody will grab and say, oh my God, I need to make a change. Now, what we must understand, the games that they play, because they use psychology, they're good at what they do. We already said that. They're good at it.
Yes.
And so kids can be very good salespeople too, because come on now, this sugar thing is off the charts here, right? Right? Well, that's a tough deal because we like sweets like everybody else, right? So I did a session one time on the replacement. I call it the replacement system.
Okay.
Instead of eating, let's say this cupcake, you can maybe eat an apple. I did a comparison, okay? But then we looked at the benefit, count the benefit, right?
Yeah.
Because again, I'm going to hit you with something. Coca-Cola, you might well call it diabetes water. You drink a lot of that? I call it diabetes water. Now, I know I might be stepping on some toes, but I'm here to help you. If you understand what's in a Coke, because I do a demonstration, I have these little drops, right? And when I do live seminars, I put chemicals and different things, let people see, because they can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But you and I talked about this earlier. Why do we clean battery cables with Coca-Cola? Why do police officers use Coca-Cola to clean blood off the highway? Why they won't give Coca-Cola to a 2,000-pound gorilla? But yet, It's okay for us to drink it every day. Now, guys, you can drink it
Right.
every once in a while, okay? But I'm telling you, when you understand, and I do a demonstration, I'm gonna send this to you, my sister, tomorrow, a little demo
Okay.
that this look, I have this little thing, this little mineral complex here, right? And so when I do a seminar, this little mineral complex cleans up my water, alkaline, and has minerals. But here's the point I'm making is this. I can take a 2 liter bottle of diet soda. Oh, I know some people say, oh, Lord, Stroman, don't go there. Okay. And I open this up and I pour it in there. It erupts like a volcano. At the
Mm.
bottom, all you see is syrup and sugar.
Wow.
Okay. Now, let me tell you something. Aspartame, you know that's not good for you. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know other countries won't allow diet
It's
soda in
banned.
their country?
Hmm.
No, it's banned. You go to jail. But we live in a profit-driven society here, so it's a different deal here.
Right.
And that's the challenge. This marketing arm and the because people don't even understand the pharmaceuticals. They got their hands in everything: marketing, medical school, periodicals, diabetes association, money. It's if you pull back and see what the deal is, it will shock you. But I'm not going to shock you today because I'm going to be very nice today.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate all of the enlightenment you're doing. Ms. Cheryl Martin said, "Teach, sir."
You're welcome.
I so I wanted to know, do you have any materials that can help someone dealing with food allergies?
Yes, yes.
I struggle so much with food allergies.
Okay, food allergies. Okay, let me get. Can I give you 2 things? Is it okay?
Please.
Okay, okay. Now here's the deal. I mentioned this briefly, but just want to mention it to tell you what I'm doing. We do this all over the world. See, this little thing I'm holding is called a sachet. You can only find it one place near the Okinawan Island in Japan. Okay, and you know those folks live a long time, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what it does, it cleans up the bad stuff in the water. If you didn't know, tap water is not good for you. Just FYI. Okay,
I
so
didn't know that.
it cleans up the bad stuff, but then what it does, it releases 70 organic trace minerals. Now, Dr. Linus Pauling, who won the Nobel Peace Prize twice, he says you can trace every disease to a mineral deficiency, right?
Mm,
So when you put this in your system over a period of time, now the thing about human beings, we're very impatient. Can we get a consensus on that? Sometimes we want things to happen overnight. It takes time. Your body is very complicated. And it takes time for your body to get adjusted to anything new.
yes.
So when you use this, and then we have something called Zyme 365, and I'll send this to you, tomorrow. And what it does, because we talked earlier about the gut. You got 39
Yes.
trillion bacteria in your gut, good and bad bacteria, et cetera, right?
Yes.
Well, it took 4.5 years of research to develop that. And the reason why it's so effective, it has 25 organic things in it, but it tastes delicious. That's the key. It,
Mm,
it tastes delicious.
okay.
So allergies and any autoimmune, anything like that, with that and this X2O, because see, when you see me sipping, that's what I have in my water. Okay.
Okay.
And guess what? And I might send you a recording of somebody who had an allergy and they don't have it anymore. I'm trying to find that for you. Testimony. I have a
Okay.
lot of. I have probably 500 testimonies. I'm not sending them to you, my
My
sister. Yeah.
Lord.
I
Mhm.
won't send it to you, but I got a lot of testimonies about. But yeah, that and something else you talked about earlier today about liberty. We got some good stuff. All of that.
Yes. Yes. I I there's some things that I was always allergic to um as a child, but the older that I got, the worse my allergies got. And I am I walk around with an EpiPen.
Is that
And
right?
uh-huh.
Is it during certain times of the year? Is more magnified during certain times of the year?
No,
It's
no. I mean, and things that you would think are healthy that most people would recommend you eat, like banana. Oh, I'm going to the hospital.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Um,
I understand. I understand, and that's why your body is so precious because we're very unique. See, And you know this already. Our bodies are a masterpiece, but they're precious. There's certain things you can do and somebody else can do. I'll mention this to you, and I might connect you with one of my doctor friends. She teach you how to eat for your blood type.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what she does. And I have her. We've done seminars together. It is so powerful when you eat for your blood type.
Ah,
Mhm.
okay. Yes. I
I
would
train,
definitely like more information on that.
yeah, I
And
train.
ladies and gentlemen, anything that Dr. Stroman shares with me, I will post it on my website and on my social platforms so that you can follow up. You can follow him. Make sure that you are all getting this information. I definitely am all about the holistic health. Um, I am not a pill popper. And then again, the views and opinions of the Blowing Bubbles podcast are its own. I'm not telling anybody to stop taking your medicine or not take what your doctor tells you to take. All
That's
I'm
right.
saying is I believe in natural medicine, herbs, and food is medicine. So
That's right.
I'm trying some different stuff. You know, the
That's
older
good.
we get, and I want to keep getting older. I want to
Well,
see a century
there you go. And listen, I mean, I'm
in good
telling you,
health in my mind. I don't want to be debilitate have a debilitating condition. But yes.
you can
Oh,
have a
and you
wonderful.
mentioned something that's important, that is very prevalent right now, dementia.
Oh yeah.
What are some things that you recommend for combating dementia? Some
Okay.
natural paths that people take.
Okay. I'm gonna give you two sides. One is certain foods that I would highly recommend because I did that for my mother that I talked about you. We talked earlier today for my mom, and she lives to be
Hmm.
about 100 years old. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give you foods that I just a recommendation. Again, we're just making recommendations. We're not telling anybody what to do, but this is what I found out, and I got the proof and the results. Let me talk about food first. Blueberries, we call them brain berries, right?
Mm,
They're brain berries.
I did hear that before. Okay.
Okay.
Blueberries, ladies and gentlemen.
Now
Brain berries.
let me ask you a question. What does a walnut look like? Your
Um,
brain
it looks like a brain, and
looks like
that's
a
one of
brain.
the things that I'm severely allergic to. But yes, it
Okay,
looks
so
like
you
a brain.
bypass that for you. But walnuts are now standing for the brain. Okay.
Gotcha.
Avocado, you know about that, of course.
Allergic.
Outstanding. The allergic. Okay, you gotta have some gloves on you.
Yeah. All
Avocado
the
is
things that are supposed to be good, the superfoods, I am
yeah,
allergic.
yeah. We got alternative. I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry about it. I got you. So avocado, you know, because you got to have good fats, right? So if
Yes.
somebody call you a fathead, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
you have to have the good fats. Obviously, the greens, the carrots, and see that stuff I eat every day, and my memory is outstanding because I do that every day.
Okay.
Okay, I go around and meet people. I met a gentleman today. I'm walking in somebody else's subdivision, and I go back and I can call all these people's names. It's because of what I'm putting in my mind. Now, the other thing that's outstanding is what we talked about earlier, even on this broadcast here, was water. Because
Yes.
your brain is like 70 to 80% water. And as you get older, you have to overcompensate.
Right.
Now, I'm going to help your listening audience about something. A lot of people don't drink water because, see, your cells is called intracellular. You need to make sure those cells are hydrated at the highest level because it's going to affect your brain, your
Yes.
cognitive ability. We do not drink enough water. 90% of Americans are clinically dehydrated because
Mm.
you've been trained and conditioned. Tea, soda, Gatorade, da 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 da. That's not the same thing. To help your audience even more, we're addicted to taste. So people will say, hey, Dr. Stroman, I know I need to drink water, but I don't like the way it tastes. Let me ask you a question. Do you like living
Hmm. How about
a
that?
long time? Okay. So we have to get wisdom and use wisdom and intellect instead of emotions. So we don't lack water, but the way God made your body is designed for water. It's not Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
So we have to see, we get caught up with our feelings. I don't like the way they taste, but do you like living? Do you like suffering and pain? Do you like Alzheimer's and dementia? Do you like that stuff? No. Wheelchairs and hospice and nursing homes. You can do something about that. I know people that's 100 and something years old and they still riding bicycles
Mm.
because of their lifestyle. So we suffer from a lifestyle disease.
Goals.
And it's challenging because you get bombarded with all this other stuff. It's
Mm.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. So the foods, there's foods that's definitely good for the brain. Now, one of the holistic doctors named Dr. Kyle Smith, he's one of the top brain doctors in the world. Do you know your brain is one of the most undernourished thing on your body?
Wow. I
And
didn't
check
know.
this out. It use up 20 to 30% of your energy in your brain. So your brain and your gut are texting one another all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Kyle Smith, he formulated something called Focus Up. And what this is 100% natural. This ain't no Red Bull. That stuff is not good for you. Okay? Let
Yeah,
me just
absolutely.
be honest. That Red Bull stuff, they got people in emergency rooms. I'll leave that alone right now, but it's not good for you. That's marketing. Okay? So this is something natural. But what it does, let me tell you a few things it does. It helps you to focus, helps you to concentrate, outstanding for your memory. It reduces stress. It takes your brain, your mind from black and white to high definition.
Mm.
I've actually had people within 20 minutes, their brain came alive. My goodness. I had one guy, a friend of mine, he felt so good, he cleaned up his whole house.
Oh. And what's the
Focus
name of
up.
this?
It's
Focus.
called Focus Up. And I'll send all that to you tomorrow, but focus up,
Okay.
right? So what I did with my mom, because she was getting up and, getting ready to walk to the highway, you know how it is, right? And
Yeah.
so we make sure she had that X2O and that Focus Up, right? And and I had it was six of us, six boys, and we saw a tremendous difference. That did it for me. But since that time, I've had thousands of people who've had just testimonies, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna just say this right now. There's so much information out there because see, society will tell you that you cannot turn this thing around. They try to give you the medicine, none of it works, yada yada yada. I'm here to let you know we've seen situations, but it's not popular because you don't hear it in mainstream
Mm-hmm.
that this stuff can be turned around. People don't know.
Wow.
You only
You
know
can
what you
turn
know.
dementia around.
Yes, and I've seen some of it.
Wow.
We've seen it. We've seen it. But some people just give up hope and think you can't do anything about it. But we've seen situations when you change the behavior. It is amazing how it affects your brain and the way you think and your whole cognitive ability. It's amazing. But again, it's not popular. Everybody don't know about it. But see,
Okay.
that's why I walk. I mean, that's why I walk every day. I mean, because I get all that oxygen in me and stuff like that, and I just man, I do that every day, and I feel good 7 days a week. I don't have no bad days.
Excellent.
No bad
Excellent.
days.
I wish I could say that.
That's
I
okay.
do.
We got you, my sister. We're gonna
Woo.
get you. I
Yes,
tell you
I
what,
look forward to it.
we're gonna look
And
out
we're
for you.
gonna have to come back and
Okay,
talk about my progress. And
fantastic.
I can document the day that I begin the regimen, um, and I'll document everything explicitly. The different problem areas that I have, the things that have been plaguing me for years, the things that doctors have said I would need medication for. Oh, I will document all of that, and then document my journey, and then document the growth. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know what I say a lot of times
Hmm.
when I'm doing live seminars, and I got to be careful because at the end I talk about the systems. It's amazing to me. We all have a little pet peeve about something, right?
Right.
So here's my pet peeve. When a doctor tells somebody you have 6 months to live, that's a pet peeve for me. They start dying as soon as they hear that
As
message.
soon as you say it.
Yep.
As soon as you say it. Yes.
The immune system shut down, your cells shut down. Oh, we about to be out of here, right?
Yep.
That's how powerful the mind is, right? Now, watch this. Here's what I call it: words of mass destruction. That's what I call it. To me, that's another form of malpractice when somebody tells somebody, oh, you got 6 months.
Yep.
Now, here's the proof. This is sad what I'm about to say, but it's a victorious story. This doctor told this man that he had about 8 months, whatever it was, to live.
Mm-hmm.
That was 25 years ago. Now, watch this.
Okay.
Here's the sad part. When the man went to the doctor years later, the doctor almost fell out of his chair because
Hmm.
he thought he was going to be expired based on what he told him 27 years ago.
Wow.
Here's the sad part. He was almost like disappointed that his word didn't work. It's crazy. It's
You'd rather
crazy.
be right than to experience the miracle.
I know
That's
it's
crazy.
amazing. It is amazing the mentality of some of the doctors. And it's like he's disappointed instead of being excited. Now, let me give you good news. One of my friends, he had type 2 diabetes, right? Had
Mm-hmm.
the CPAP, can't sleep, CPAP, oxygen,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. He had several things. Well, he went back to his doctor, and I like to give people a contrast with the mentality of doctors because you got great doctors out there, guys. Wonderful doctors that care a lot about you. But then you have some that have no bedside manners at all. That's
Yeah.
another story for another time.
I've run
But
into those.
yes, they don't know nothing about you. Put your name on this. But anyway, so he got on our protocol. He went back to the doctor. The doctor said, "We taking you off the CPAC. You don't have diabetes anymore. No medication." Man, he got up there and started, him and his wife celebrating right there in the doctor's office. He was so excited. The doctor was celebrating with him. So so there's ways around this stuff that we've been exposed to, but it's just so sad that many people just not aware of it. And that's why we say to people when I'm doing seminars, I never tell anybody what to do. I always try to lead with love. I'm just the messenger. Ultimately, it's your journey, it's your decision. I know the challenge because what we talked about earlier, it's the influence, it's the battle of information. And
Absolutely.
if you don't know, and we either get destroyed because of a lack of knowledge, we just don't know. And the challenge is when you've been going somewhere for a long time, and we just believe. And I tell people to respect every doctor. But how many people for 10 years I'm doing my podcast, they went to the doctor office and the doctor says this, and they were cool, right? They
Mm-hmm.
started eating right, exercise, doing the basic stuff that you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went back 3 months later, what it was, health issue gone.
Mm-hmm.
No more health issue. So I tell, don't argue with your doctor. Don't do that because doctors sometimes because they're a doctor, they feel that they know everything. You have the nerve to challenge my authority. That's the attitude they have, and so
Right.
we get intimidated. Don't want to ask them questions. Okay, and so we just say, "Oh, take this pill. Yeah, okay. You don't know." And then you go to the PubMed and go to the website. This thing got 15 side effects.
Yeah.
It's anyway. You and I can talk about that all day.
We
It
can,
is
yeah, we can go on and on and on.
anyway.
Listen, I am so very grateful. I'm so inspired by you, your story, your work. I look forward to working closely with you to turn some of my circumstances around. For all of the people who are listening, watching, who may want to connect with you and follow your workshops and your programs that you have going on, how can people find you?
I'm gonna give you my cell number since you and I are fast friends. I'm gonna give out my cell phone.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, it is 678-907-3135. 678-907-3135. I'm available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Unless you set up an appointment, you can call me anytime.
All right, you guys got that? 678-907-3135. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Dr. Anthony Stroman.
Yes. Thank you
And
so much.
in closing, do you have any more words, any final words you would like to leave with people?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you. Just allowing me to be on your platform, it is an honor. Um, this is something that I love to do, and I just want to thank you so much because you're doing a fantastic job, and I know that you're going to have a phenomenal story yourself, your personal story. And I'll leave everybody with this one last statement. Failure will never overtake you if your determination to be successful is strong enough. Failure will never overtake you if your determination to be successful is strong enough.
We're going to snap that up. Dr. Stroman, I thank you so very much for joining me on the
You're welcome.
Blowing Bubbles podcast. And I will be seeing you. I will be connecting with you. And we will most definitely have some amazing testimonies to continue to share.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know how we sign off here. We always say, stay poppin'.
I love that.